I'd like to start by inviting Reverend Charlie Martin to do our invocation.
Would you please join me in prayer? O God, the sustainer and creator of life and freedom, we thank you for this gathering of leaders and concerned citizens here this evening. We ask that the discussions, the decisions be made justly, openly, and with a sense of understanding for all. Guide us and direct us as individuals and as community to live as ways that are enriching to all and pleasing to you. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. We'll call the March 7th, 2017 regular council meeting to order. Let's rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mrs. Hoffman, can you please take roll call?
Mr. Burke?
Here.
Mr. Cahill?
Here.
Ms. Kyle?
Here.
Mr. Skidmore?
Here.
Ms. Sudkamp?
Here.
Ms. Cahill?
Here.
Mr. Montgomery?
Here.
Ms. Skidmore?
Here.
Ms. Pitts?
Here.
Mr. Nicely?
Here.
Ms. Fetty?
Here.
Mr. Blankenship?
Here. All right, we have a quorum. You've received a copy of the minutes for the February 7th, 2017 regular council meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to be made at this time? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion that we adopt as presented. Motion by Mrs. Kyle, second by Mr. Cahill. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. You've received a copy of the agenda for this evening's meeting, March 7th, 2017, regular council meeting. Are there any additions to be made at this time? I'll entertain a motion that we accept. Motion by Mrs. Kyle, second by Mrs. Skidmore. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, we'll move into our special presentations. First, we've got a business spotlight. We've got Roseanne Nields from St. Elizabeth. Welcome.
Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity to share some information about St. Elizabeth and provide you with some future plans and what's going on with the Sun Behavioral Health and those kind of things. And happy to answer any questions you have after the presentation. And hopefully I can work this. So just to give you a broad overview of last year's accomplishments and big things, we're always working and striving to be one of the highest quality providers in the region and in the nation. So we're trying to and striving to meet national benchmarks. So we were named the top 5% in heart care by healthgrades.com. Meaning there's 5,000 hospitals, so we're in the top 50 hospitals in terms of outcomes for heart care. We were the first to insert the smallest pacemaker in the nation and a fully dissolving heart stent. And all these things help improve patient care, improve outcomes, reduce the length of stay, reduce cost. So we're just trying to work to try to better patient care. We also were the first in the area to do the first outpatient knee replacement. So again, that lower length of stay, able to help people recover faster and get back to work faster. Our physicians are very highly rated when we compare them with national benchmarks and regional benchmarks. So we feel like they're providing great care to our community. And we've added some new things this year to help with technology development. We purchased the CTEC formerly Met Center from Northern Kentucky University. They could no longer operate that facility, and we needed some training space. And we now have a state-of-the-art simulation training facility at CTEC, which we'd love to invite y'all to see because it's very innovative for the country, so, and helping to train our nurses and doctors. One of the biggest things we're focusing on in the next 5 to 10 years, and this year, and started with this new initiative, is to make sure we are the best community partner. So we're trying to make sure that we're a part of this community. We're a fabric, part of the fabric of the community, and we want to help everybody become healthier. So that's a focus, and just help Northern Kentucky be a better place to live and work. And so one of the things that we always track is how much community benefit we provide, so how much donations or uncompensated care or losses we experience on Medicaid patients, or things we do in the community like support groups and health fairs and screenings. And that equaled $104 million in 2015. So it's significant commitment to our community and important to our community. We're doing a lot of partnerships in the community. You'll see, speeding through there, supporting a lot of organizations, whether it be American Heart Association or the YMCA or Cancer Society, anything that would help improve health in our community, we want to try to support those community initiatives. Some of these bigger ones have more impact on our community than even improving health. So the YMCA and LiveWealth are directly health related, and they're working on trying to help people eat healthier and be more physically active and stop smoking. Those are those big initiatives, because that's the only way we're going to bend the cost curve. The cost of healthcare keep rising, and so the only way we can do it is by prevention and changing the way we deliver care. And so healthy initiatives and all of us, being more active and eating better and will help with that cost control. Our partnership with NKU and creating the Health Innovation Center helps to bring new providers and new healthcare workers to our community. So that we don't have a shortage. We do have a shortage now of physicians, and I don't have up here our announcement about our partnership with UK and bringing a medical school to Northern Kentucky University.
So with that, will St. Elizabeth become a teaching hospital?
We actually already are. We have a family practice residency program, so we have 8 new doctors a year in residency, 24 total. It's a 3-year program, so we'll be expanding those residencies to include other specialties. And some of the teaching will happen at St. Elizabeth with our doctors, so that'll be a new and exciting thing for our doctors to learn and teach and be engaged. This has been a very important issue for us. I have a handout that I've passed out to you. We are facing a significant crisis. Everyone's read about it, knows about it. We're doing everything we can to try to address this issue. So we know we need to do more, but these are just some of the things that we have done. We have created an addiction clinic, so that there are physicians treating patients with medically assisted treatment and getting them into programs for rehab. We are helping to distribute Narcan to first responders and cities or counties that want that type of assistance. We're there to help train and provide the kits to help save lives. We are working on syringe exchange, which I know can be controversial, but really it's to prevent disease and future dollars, tax dollars. So preventing hepatitis C or spread of AIDS before it becomes an issue. And then we are doing a lot of work with our new mothers. So babies that are born addicted have a very, very difficult life, very challenging. The first 2 weeks, they're withdrawing. And it's heart-wrenching to hear them cry and go through the pain that they go through as they withdraw. So we're working with our mothers to try to get them on Suboxone during pregnancy so the baby's not born addicted, and having some success when we're able to reach the mother at an early stage. So we're continuing to work on that. There's some statistics on the paper show I think we had 126 babies in 15, and then it went down to 86 in 16. So we're making minor progress. And then we're just working with our physicians to do better prescribing so that because we know a lot of the opioid addiction translates into heroin addiction once the opioid prescription is stopped. Just some economic impact. We do have 8,500 associates, and more than 80% of our associates live in Northern Kentucky, so they're your friends, your family, people that are important to you. And we do have an impact in terms of taxes and economic development, so we're working hard to make this a vibrant community and stay a vibrant community. Sun Behavioral Health, just you see the building going up, so it's very exciting. It's on Erlanger property and will result in 400 new jobs for Erlanger. 200 are coming from existing staff at Edgewood and Falmouth facilities and Florence facilities to this new facility, and then there'll be 200 new staff. And it's tracking to open this winter, like at the end, fourth quarter of 17, or the beginning of next quarter, first part of 18. So pretty on schedule, and we're excited about that. And we're currently starting to hire so that we have the staff ready for that opening. At Erlanger particularly, just so you have those statistics, we have 359 associates currently working at our Dulwick Corporate Center, and that's human resources and marketing and finance and our foundation, and that is likely to grow as well. We have 331 associates that live in Erlanger somewhere and work at one of our facilities. And our taxes, you can see those dollars. We try to support the local schools. We are athletic trainers for St. Henry in this community, as well as provide a number of screenings for area businesses in the community. And then lastly, provide the Narcan kits to Kenton County. Now, I'm willing to offer them to Erlanger if that's something that you would like. And just these are our goals and aspirations for the future. So we want to help Northern Kentucky be the healthiest community in America. So it's a lofty goal. Living in Kentucky, we're not the healthiest people, but we can get there, and we're going to strive to get there and help our community work to get there. And then we do want to be the highest quality, lead in patient experience, be the best place to work and practice medicine, and then also the best community partner. I think that's it. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I have a question.
Sure.
On slide number 9.
Okay. Well,
No, I mean, it must, 8.
8.
Yes. It says 359 associates work in Erlanger at Dulwick, and 331 associates live in Erlanger. Are those 331?
They're different. Yeah.
Okay.
So the 331 might work at Florence or Edgewood, but they happen to live in Erlanger City.
Okay. Thank you.
And then we do have 359 working at Dulwick, physically paying payroll taxes.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And we thank you for the zoning and the light that we have now at the end of Dulwick, and appreciate any other partnerships you're willing to or want to look into.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thank you, Roseanne. All right, next up we've got Dane with the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dane Balsman. I am a urban fisheries biologist with the state of Kentucky, and I oversee our Fishing in Neighborhoods, or FINS program. And I'm here tonight for your consideration of Flagship Park Lake as part of that program. Just to give you a little bit of a background on the FINS program, it started in 2006 with 5 lakes up here in northern Kentucky, Frankfort, and Louisville. And these were small, locally owned lakes that the state did not own, but we come in and partner with these local municipalities, provide fish at no cost to the city. City upkeeps, city or county upkeeps the park, upkeeps the lake. But we partner with them, provide our expertise for managing the lake, providing people a place to go fishing that's close to home and convenient for them. So we started the program in 2006. Since then, we've underwent a large expansion. We currently have 43 lakes around the state and 28 counties that are enrolled in the program. Almost all these lakes are city or county owned. So it is a partnership program, again, with these local municipalities where we help manage the lake and provide people a place to go fishing that's close to home. So we underwent an expansion this last year. We were trying to identify possible candidates. Flagship Park Lake was one of the spots that we thought would be a good fit for the program. We do have several up here in northern Kentucky that are enrolled in this program. Middleton Mills Park here in Kenton County, Camp Ernst Lake in Boone County, Alexandria Community Park Lake, Prisoners Lake in Covington. So there are several municipalities up here that are partnered with the state. And through this program, again, we would provide our expertise, sample the lake, sample the fish population, stock as needed, set regulations. We would provide fish throughout the year. We would stock this lake. If people show up and don't have a good experience fishing, there's a good chance they won't come back and do it again. So we're, again, trying to provide these opportunities where people don't have to go far from where they work or live to go fishing, and then they have a successful trip while they're out. So through the FINS program, we would stock about 1,500 rainbow trout in the winter during the cool water months to provide something to catch during the cold of the winter, and then we would stock catfish in the warmer months. Again, this doesn't cost the city anything other than what we ask is just to turn in your time sheets for routine maintenance that's already being done around the lake, mowing, trash pickup, things like that. So we're not asking for any cost sharing for these fish, but we can count that in-kind match for our federal dollars that we receive from fishing license sales and taxes on fishing equipment. So that helps our state budget go a little bit further and administer this program. Currently, the lake has, I think, catch and release only regs. We would change those fishing regulations to allow for some harvest because we do have a standardized set of fishing regulations statewide for lakes enrolled in this program. We would provide the signage for those new regulations if the city did want to partner with us. So that's pretty much the gist of it. I think the only concern that I had possibly with the Flagship Park Lake was I think there was part of the perimeter of that lake that was privately owned. I don't know if there were any concerns that anyone wanted to bring up about issues that may arise from that, but
yeah, that is a question.
Yeah, so just like to know, so how do I know about this program? I mean, how would I find out about it? Say I was living in Boone County, living in Kenton County, Frankfort, whatever.
So this program is really one of our flagship programs with Fish and Wildlife and Fisheries. If you go to our website, we do advertise the stocking date so people know when fish are coming. We post that on, we promote it through social media. We let the city know when the fish are coming. We encourage them to promote these stockings, try to get people out, encourage them to fish. But if you go to the Fish and Wildlife webpage, it's very prominent on there, Fishing in Neighborhoods, and again, the background of the program, when we stock, what we stock. We promote all these lakes. We have links to Google Maps, show people how to get to them, and kind of promote it that way.
Well, I think that's where you pointed out that the concern is with the private property owners. We have two that butt up to the lake, but we also have other properties on the other side of that. So I mean, it's something that we need to consider. If we're going to do that, we need to talk to those folks. We already have issues with people with the catch and release that are probably invading that and coming into that property. So
It's about 50% of the lake. I mean, two sides of the lake has yards that go down to it. So
Okay.
really, the people can only fish on this side and the back end.
And there may be some conflicts with increased usage. That may be something to definitely take in consideration. We would have an officer presence at these lakes with these stockings and with the fishing. Our conservation officers would patrol, try to enforce any ordinances that you have in addition to our statewide fishing regulations. Most of the lakes that we have, it is 100% access all the way around. Camp Ernst is one that the YMCA camp up there, I mean, that's a much larger lake, but, you know, half of that lake, the bank access is closed as well up there, so.
What's your website again?
fw.ky.gov is the homepage for Kentucky Fish and Wildlife.
So in your experience with this new program, how much traffic would this increase?
I think you would have quite, I don't know what the baseline is before. I don't know what your fishing pressure currently is because I don't have any tabs on that, but I would expect a substantial increase in the amount of fishing pressure through the promotion and the fish stockings. I think your increased usage, you know, would go up. The biggest concern and the biggest kickback, the program has been a huge success. The parks, you know, the cities and counties want to bring people to the parks, and it has done that. The only kickback and the only thing that we've really had negative is the amount of trash and trying to get people to police themselves, pick up trash after themselves. And unfortunately, that has been the biggest issue that we've encountered.
So the in-kind work with the stocking, I mean, so right now we'd have a small dock out there. If we were to increase that size, things like that, is there any monies that we could utilize to do that? Because I'm afraid if we do this, we're going to, you know, especially that side is a smaller neighborhood. I mean, the access to it is through the neighborhood.
Yeah.
The access on the other side is not. And of course, because we did not have the hindsight, we did not expand the parking on that side at that point when we put that in, so.
For parking, we wouldn't have any cost-sharing money available for things like that. I mean, we could count what work you do as match for those fish stockings. It's not difficult at all to reach that cost-sharing for the program. Again, it's just typical maintenance that you're doing to keep fishing access open on the part of the park that you do own, trash pickup, mowing, if you do make any improvements to the fishing pier or parking, things like that.
So we did do a traffic study on the road entrance to the main there a while back because of some concerns for speeding. So I think we need to take this back maybe to that community, which is me and Corinne. But we could probably need to take this back and ask those questions if this is something, especially the folks that would do that. I mean, that's what I'd like to propose with this before we say yes or no.
And we're looking a little ways out. I brought this up, I think, last September, but we'd be looking probably about a year out before we'd even consider it and could get it on the docket for if we were to add it to the program for fish stocking, for getting those fish in production and bringing some fish up. So we're still looking a little ways out, so if you need time to explore, we have plenty of time for that. So I just wanted to bring it to you guys to see if, for your consideration, see if it was something that the city was interested in partnering with us, just because we determined that it may be a lake that may be suitable for the program, so.
And then the only cost to us would be you guys, instead of our Public Works doing the maintenance around there, it would be you all, and then we just
Yeah, we just work with Public Works and just provide them a simple timesheet that they send us once every month or every couple months, and it's, again, very, very easy, very little paperwork involved in that, but it's just turning in those timesheets, so.
They'll continue the work.
They'll continue to do it. Okay.
So.
All right. Any other questions for Dane?
How do we get back with him if we decide we want to pursue this?
I've got his email information.
I can provide my contact information or a card for you, and you can just call me or send me a letter, let me know. And if you have any questions in the meantime, get in touch with me and I can provide answers. So,
you may have already done this, Dane, but if you wouldn't mind, send me an email that has a link to your site, and then I'll forward that to all the council.
Okay.
And then you'll have it.
Thank you.
excellent. I'll go ahead and leave you my card here so you have my contact information.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for coming out. All right, so the next on the agenda is our service recognition. Looks like we've got Chief Whitaker first. Yes, I said chief.
Thank you. After Saturday, I didn't know, you know. I'm a little hoarse, too, after my 4.5-hour budget presentation, but I think I'm ready to go. See what you missed, Ms. Sudkamp?
That's why I left.
It was all planned.
Yeah.
It's all in the timing.
Tonight, I'm very honored to hand out service pin awards to two individuals who many of you on council probably have known these individuals longer than I have. Rob, you're the first one up. Where is he? He's walking. And that's par for the course. Come on in here, Rob. Rob Hucker. Rob is a Lloyd High School graduate, class of 1987. They're figuring it out as I go here. Rob started with our department as a volunteer in 1992. He became part-time in 93 and full-time in 99. He was promoted to lieutenant in 2001, then promoted to captain in 2010. Over his years, Rob has been very active with the technical rescue team, and part of his career involves spending 1 year in the Middle East as a contract firefighter. Rob is married to Lisa, who you may recognize. I think she runs the police department. And I see Lisa here tonight with her son, little Robbie, also known as Wyatt, but he will forever be little Rob to me. Rob also has two stepsons, Taylor and Clay. So tonight, we pay respect to 25 years of service, which is quite an accomplishment, not only within this city, but actually in today's workforce in general. So it makes me very proud to give Rob his award for 25 years of service.
Thank you. Actually, I'm my guys find it hard to believe, but I'm actually kind of at a loss for words. They're usually trying to tell me to shut up and sit down, and training's lasted 3 hours now. It was only supposed to be an hour. So I just want to thank the city and the opportunities that I've had coming up through the ranks. I remember I see somebody sitting up there that I started with, and it's been an honor to serve with a lot of the people that are here and gone. And I think now that Captain Dye has retired, I think I'm the longest tenured person at the fire department right now. Thank you for leaving, Cherry. But I just, again, I'm at a loss for words. As you can tell, I'm stuttering and stammering. Thank you very much for the city and everything that they've provided for me and my family. I appreciate it, and my meeting me back there harasses me all the time when I'm gone. So thank you again, and I appreciate everything that you've done for me. Thank you.
The next award winner, as I like to say, is another of Erlanger's own. Justin, come on up here. This is truly a man of few words right here, but we're going to get him to say something tonight. Justin, too, is a Lloyd High School graduate, class of 1999. Justin started as a 16-year-old explorer in 1997. He became part-time in 2002 and then full-time in 2004. He completed his paramedic license in 2007 and was promoted to lieutenant in 2010. In 2014, he was promoted to the position of shift captain. Justin is married to Eileen. They have one son, Boston. Where's BB? There's BB. And I believe they are expecting a daughter. And so I Googled U.S. cities with B names today. I have Bristol, Brooklyn, Blakely, Blair, and Bell. And I'm kind of a Brooklyn fan, so he is accepting any kind of ideas that you have on that, so you can contact Justin for that. I see Justin's mom, Monica's here tonight, and Justin's stepdad, Bruce Smith, who is a lifetime member of our department, is here as well. You know, both of these guys have made my job easier. You know, not being an Erlanger kid and having two on a department that can not only tell you about history or how things were done, but two guys that you can obviously see are committed. They're not committed to me, they're committed to this city and this department. And that's what makes me proud as the chief for both of them. And really honors me to give Justin his 20-year service a pin tonight.
Don't let me have the mic. Can I have the mic?
You got it.
Okay.
Just for a minute.
I know some of your speeches, so. I did prepare a little something. I'd like to say thank you to the council and the mayor for sharing your appreciation for my service. My biggest thank you, though, is to my family, supporting me, knowing I won't be there for holidays, birthdays, family functions. Thanks to the administration, chief, and from the past and the present for allowing me to work at such a great place. I also want to say thank you to all the members that established the great history and tradition of our department, one being my stepfather. My father was on the fire department as well. Last and not least, I want to thank the personnel I've worked with and currently work with that have been my second family. I've learned a lot from everyone and continue to learn every day. Excuse me. They make it fun to be at work, and I'm thankful for that. I look forward for many more years. I hope to see several more of my friends and personnel throughout their careers at Erlanger and build on our history. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, we've got Mr. Fields.
I know on the agenda, I think Ms. Hoffman was next, but hang on. I want to do Ms. Brown first. Diane, would you please come up here? You're going to get your chance, Connor, in just a second. Okay? I promise. All right. I was lucky enough back in 2007 to meet the Browns. Jim, Diane. I don't think he was around quite then in 2007. And they became volunteers in police services for us. It's a great honor to have this family as a part of our Erlanger family back then. They've been a part of it ever since. And in fact, in 2009, Diane was appointed as the city's representative to the Kenton County Planning Commission, where she is still today, having been reappointed by Mayor Hermes here in 2017. And even though the VIPs have become a little inactive, I'm not going to say disbanded, but the volunteers and police services have kind of gone away, and we've tried to move to a more citywide volunteer program. The Browns have been a part of that, and Diane, even if her other service to us at the Planning Commission, she still does that. And if you notice, every event that we have, the Browns are at. Every event. And again, I said that, Jim and Diane, married couple, had Connor. Connor, would you come up here for a minute? I know you're playing with something, but I think this is a really good example of exactly why they're the Erlanger family, because over the years we have had talks, and I don't know what it is today, but you've always wanted to be the fire chief, police chief, council member, and what else?
SWAT.
Oh, the SWAT team, there we go. Yeah, and the big one, though, I thought you wanted that chair right up there.
Yes.
That mayor's chair?
I'll help you fill out the paperwork.
My mom also says I have to be in the Navy too.
Oh, you got to be in the Navy, all right.
He's going to have a full plate.
So I feel like giving this 10-year pin, I'm giving it to the whole family. But Diane, I want to say thank you for everything you've done and your family and what you brought to ours. Thank you very much.
much. We have very much loved the city of Erlanger. We did not grow up here. I did not go to Lloyd. So I was able to choose Erlanger as the city that we wanted to move to and the city that we wanted to raise a family in. And I've teased a little bit. I think Connor's only a couple years away from his 10-year pin because he's come to everything with us. But it is an absolute pleasure to raise a family in this city and to represent this city countywide. I do serve as the vice chair this year on Kenton County Planning Commission, and I owe that to you as city council and as mayor for allowing me the privilege to serve with those wonderful 20 other people on the planning commission. So thank you all very much. Thank you.
Ms. Hoffman, would you come down? When you all gave me the honor of moving from one position to another back in 2013, Sherry was the assistant city clerk at the time. Missy, who we'll talk about in just a little bit, but was the city clerk. I can't tell you how much of a help Sherry has been to me over the past 3 years. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I was lost, and she found my path and got me going in the right direction most of the time. I do know that Sherry graduated, I believe, from Lloyd High School, but I'm not going to tell you the year because I really don't know. But I don't think I would do that to Sherry. But she started here as a volunteer EMT in 1992. And so from 1992, she was a volunteer. Then she became part-time in 1993. From 1993 to 2002, she served as the fire EMS department, and she was promoted to an EMS supervisor sometime during that tenure. In 2002, she saw the light, and she decided she'd come over to the administration building where she was welcomed and was part-time, and then she became full-time administrative assistant, and then in 2008, she was promoted to assistant city clerk. And again in 2016, and we all know, we were pretty much everybody was around for that transition when Missy stepped down and Sherry was promoted to city clerk. It was one of the best decisions the city council's ever made. Sherry, I thank you very much for everything you've done for me during my tenure over here and at the city. Thank you.
I want to say, I don't know if Rob's still here or not, but Rob and I, he's actually a year older than I am. He graduated a year before me, but we came on as volunteers together in '92. Tom Cahill brought us on as volunteers. A year later, we were hired by Bill Martin on the fire department. And then over the years, it's just, I've had so many blessings here at the city. I've enjoyed coming to work every day. I enjoy the community I serve. I enjoy the people I work with. And I can't thank you each enough for all the opportunities you've given me. So thank you very much.
I know this one's not on the agenda, Mayor, so I beg your forgiveness here, but Missy Anders is also celebrating her 10-year anniversary with the city tonight. Missy couldn't be here tonight, but she did send everybody an email, and I'm not sure if everybody saw the email or not, but just some background for those in the audience. Missy came to us from the city of Ellesmere in 2007. She was the city clerk in the city of Ellesmere. Later that year, she came as the assistant city clerk. Later that year, she was promoted to city clerk. Last year, she decided that she wanted to we had a vacancy in our human resources department. Missy graciously took over that large task because, trust me, it's a very, very difficult job. She wanted it, and we gave it to her. And she's done a fine job there. I wanted to say a little bit about Missy tonight because she's retiring October of this year. That's her plan, to retire. And having been over here the last 10 years, just talking to Missy about her past government experience, which she had a lot of before she came over here, she became a part of Erlanger, and she really, really, truly loves this city. I want to read an email that she sent out earlier to all council and the mayor. So I'm celebrating my 10-year anniversary this month with the city of Erlanger. I would like to express my sincere thanks for giving me the opportunity to serve not only council, but the citizens and employees of Erlanger. At times, my work here has been quite challenging, but it has been equally as rewarding. I appreciate being able to work in a setting where people care about what they do and about each other. It's been an incredible 10 years. Thank you, Missy. So we'll miss her, but we'll try to get her here before she leaves one time. I don't know, she likes being off on Tuesday nights, so I'm not so sure we'll get her. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mark. All right, the next we have Chief Wilson.
We always save the best for last, don't we? All right. So I have the honor tonight of presenting a 30-year pin. Come on up, Todd, to Sergeant Todd Rice. I've known Todd for going on 25 years now. I don't need these glasses because I don't have anything written down. So, Todd started his police career probably when he was 11 or 12 years old in the seat of a state police cruiser, but he started his official one as a University of Eastern Kentucky University police officer, I'm sorry. Back in the mid-'80s, he came to Erlanger, I think in 86? 87. Todd was hired as a patrolman. He moved up through the ranks. He was a sergeant, FTO program. He reinvented our FTO program probably more than once. He ran the evidence room. He went to SPI, the Southern Police Institute, where he returned. He was promoted to lieutenant. Stayed with us a few more years after that, retired, couldn't stay away, was rehired, and this makes his 30th year. You can't find a more dedicated, caring person than this man standing right here. He's a great police officer. He's a great road cop. He's a wealth of information. He cares more about this place and these people than anybody I've ever seen in my life. He's all that and more. But even more than that, his police career goes on and on and on. He's got six kids. Six wonderful children. He's got a grandbaby, I think 3 children here tonight, and his grandbaby, yes. And his wife's here somewhere. I don't know her. Oh, there she is. She's right here. I'm looking in the back row. He's married to his wife, Pam, for how long now?
30 years in June.
30 years. So he better, I guess he thought he should get married as soon as he started being a police officer, so somebody keep him. But he's a wonderful father, a brother, son, husband, and it's been my honor and privilege to work with him for the last 25 years off and on. He trained most of the leaders in this department, myself included, several other people. I don't know how many people he's trained. He was the only FTO when I got here, so I know he trained at least 8 or 10 solely on his own. Now we divided up among 4 or 5 FTOs, so I can't say enough good about him. It's been great working with him over the last 25 years, and it's my distinct honor and privilege to give him his 30-year service pin.
Well, there's not much left to say. He probably said most of it. I want to tell you one thing, that the city of Erlanger has been my family for the last 30 years. I came up here, as most of you can tell, I'm not from this area very far removed. But I came up here with absolutely no one, did not know anyone in this area when the city of Erlanger took a chance on me 30 years to the day. And I have been very appreciative with my life here in the city of Erlanger, the things I've accomplished. I have a beautiful family. Like he said, my wife here, Pam, we've been together over 30 years, but we've been married 30 years as of June of this year. And without her, none of this would have been possible. So I want to thank you, Pam, very much for everything that you've done and standing by me, because I could not have done this without you. And thank you for the family you've given me. As far as city of Erlanger, I can't imagine a better place to work. I look up here at this board. I mean, you look at the people. There's 5 years difference between me and Rob and Sherry. It's hard to believe that we've all been here that long, and I know there's people who've been here longer. I know Mr. Smith here has been 40, 50 years. Every bit of it, close to it. So there's a lot of history here. The city of Erlanger has been great to me specifically, but a lot of people within the community. I just can't thank you all enough for taking a chance on me and allowing me to do what I love to do all my life. So I'll stop there. Thank you again very much.
Seems almost unheard of anymore, you know, seeing someone that's been someplace for 30 years. So amazing, really amazing. All right, next we've got the mayor's report. Got a few items I want to go through. Most of it's pretty quick. One kind of exciting thing, Erlanger has been named one of the safest cities in the state of Kentucky by the National Council for Home Safety and Security. Out of 425 cities, we ranked number 15. So we rank better than 96% of the cities in Kentucky. I would call that an A. You know, so thank you to our police, our public works, our first responders who keep us safe. I know Sergeant Sterling was here, and I think he just walked out. But I think a lot of you heard about Norm, the Korean war vet. That was really quite an amazing thing. Sergeant Sterling set up a GoFundMe page and raised over $10,000 for this Korean war vet in less than 24 hours. But he sent me an email, Sergeant Sterling sent me an email earlier today to let everybody know that Norm is at Elmcroft Retirement Center in room 220. So thank you, Sergeant Sterling, for that. We recently met, Dave Hahn and I recently met with Corporate Storage Systems on Kenton Lands Road. They were excited to have us visit. They're appreciative of the tax decreases. They love the services they get from the city. And Jay Geisler will attend our April meeting as the business spotlight. Last week, I had the opportunity to talk to the children at the Northern Kentucky Montessori School on Crescent Springs Road about beekeeping. The season is beginning, so if anybody would like to join me for a hive inspection, I would welcome you along. If you behave, I'll give you protective gear. Toyota has an exciting announcement on March 17th at 2:30. Some of us have heard about that. They've invited us out for an exciting announcement. We think we have an idea of what they want to talk about, but we'll keep you informed on that. As mentioned last month, I requested all the city council members update us in this meeting when the next meeting of the group that they represent is meeting. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and go through the ones that my name is on here real quickly. The next Kenton County Mayor's Group meeting is March 18th at 9 a.m. at the Planning and Development Services Office, or I guess their council chambers on Royal Drive. The next PDS meeting is Thursday the 16th at 5:45 p.m. Judge Knockelman wants to address PDS Council about PDS moving into the Jillian's building with the Kenton County Fiscal Court. That should be an interesting meeting. The school board meeting is this Thursday, March 9th at 7 p.m. in the lower level of the school board building. It's always the second Thursday of the month. The Northern Kentucky Area Development District meeting is Thursday, March 23rd at noon. The Health Department meeting is tomorrow, March 8th at 6:30 p.m. At Medical Village Drive, Edgewood. What else? Oh, okay, then the Kentucky League of Cities. There's not necessarily a regular meeting coming up, but they do have their municipal budgeting meeting, or I guess really it's a municipal budgeting seminar coming up March 23rd down in Lexington, if anybody would be interested in going to that. And that's all I have. to discuss this evening. We'll move on then to the reports of the committees. First, we'll start off with Public Safety, Police, Mrs. Sedkamp, Mrs. Kyle.
Yes, and I want to thank the mayor for bringing up, I read that, I guess, today in the paper about us receiving that award for safety, one of the safest cities in Kentucky. 15 out of 425 cities, that's very impressive. So I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to, but.
I'm sorry to steal your
No, that's
thunder.
okay. No, I'm glad you brought it up because I may have forgotten too. The next thing I have is Criminal Investigative Division. The Criminal Investigations Division was assigned 10 new cases in the month of February. Six cases were closed out resulting in 3 arrests. Much of the month was taken up working on some very involved incidents, a shooting on Debbie Lane and 9 background checks, 8 for the fire department and 1 for public works. And there are currently 60 open cases being investigated by the detectives. The next one, Community Resource Officer, Sergeant Sterling, worked this month on helping a veteran of the Korean War obtain funding for a new residence. He became the custodian of this gentleman who had no family and was suffering from the beginning stages of dementia. The community has been extremely generous, and Sergeant Sterling has been able to get Norm moved into a new home facility where he will be cared for. And I told Sergeant Sterling this evening, I said, you're definitely going to go straight to heaven. So God bless him.
Amazing.
I have to share this with everybody. This is a hoot because Norm had a terrible time adjusting. And we kept asking, I mean, you know, he was ripped out of his home and his surroundings and all new people. And John was his only connection to the outside world. So John was kind of backing off, not going as often. So he goes to see him today, and apparently they jerked him out of his bed and shaved him and gave him a bath. 3 nurses scrubbed him down. He was happier than he'd ever been in his life. I just thought that was darling. Officer Shepard had his DARE essay winners honored at the February council meeting. He's continuing to mentor several students at his school and is currently teaching DARE at St. Henry at the elementary level as he teaches Ellesmere Officer Ernst on how to become a DARE instructor. Training over the past 6 weeks has hosted the firearms training, better known as the FATS training, owned by the Kentucky League of Cities. During that time, a combination of nearly 200 police officers, politicians, militaries, and civilians were afforded the opportunity to take part in the simulator training. Decision-making training in critical incidents can not only be an invaluable tool to the officer, but has the potential of saving lives and reducing city liability in deadly use of force situations. And Chief is in the house.
All right, thank you. Then we'll move on to Public Safety, Fire, EMS. Mrs. Pitts, Mrs. Fetty.
The fire department's had a lot of training this past month. A few things they've done and it is the technical rescue team did some ice rescue training, which I'm sure is not a fun thing to do. Something different they did that they don't was a downed firefighter CPR training for a firefighter who's fully garbed up and everything, and they learned how to take care of them in a situation. And they said that was very interesting and hard. They have 600 inspections total they have to do for the year, and they've completed 105 of them so far. And Chief Whitaker's in the house.
All right, thank you. Public Works, Mr. Cahill, Mr. Skidmore.
Yes, Public Works paid a visit to Arnett Elementary YMCA after-school program to spend some time with the kids and let them check out the new Frontline snowplows. Solar-powered street pathway lights have been installed along the portion of the sidewalk on Hulbert Avenue near the library and Division Street entrance parking lot at the Silver Lake Park. Poles and lights have been ordered to install in both parking lots and Flagship as well. They've just completed their quarterly rounds of street sweeping, which was about 14 ton of debris. And in the month of February, they was only called out on one salt run, and that was the fire at the Palmer's building. And that's all I have.
So we do have three things on the report for tonight. One was a facility study for the firehouse and the firehouse location. We do have some monies budgeted for the next fiscal year for this. However, we have to have that approved first before we have any discussions. We have a team together that will be looking at that. We've asked some information from Mr. Hahn that we'll be getting to look at some sites and things like that, potentially for Public Works. The second thing is a sidewalk repair study. That also will require, there's some budget money in there that we have available, but that will also require an ordinance change. So we need to make sure that we have that approved for the budget, and then we need to consider the ordinance change for that potentially. The third thing, I'd like to defer to Mrs. Pitts on the Stevenson Road repair.
In the committee meeting, we discussed forming a committee. The committee will consist of Tom Cahill, Jessica Fetty, Randy Blankenship, and myself, along with 2 residents. What was one of the residents' names? Do you remember? Okay. We're waiting to hear back from the 2 residents that we picked close to or on Stevenson Road. We thought they would be the best ones to help with the decision making. And basically, we have to go through the channels or whatever, but our objective is to get Stevenson Road on the plan, and everybody that's driven on it knows it needs to be redone. It's been just patched over and patched over. And so we're going to work on a presentation probably when it's been raining a lot, because that's when it floods. We'll do pictures, use Jessica's little video expertise, and we'll get a little presentation going. We'll present it to OKI and hope that we can get them to sponsor it next year and go from there. And so that's all we've done so far.
Okay, that's all we have. Ed's in the house.
All right, thank you. And next we've got administration. Mrs. Skidmore, Mrs. Cahill.
I'm going to report on our committee meeting report. The Lloyd High School student Jillian Travis gave a presentation on the school's Necessity Drive program, and the date was March the 6th. It dates March the 6th to the 16th. The drop-off location is Lloyd High School. There's a box in the front office that you can do. Donations will be given to Build a Dream Northern Kentucky 2017 and the Mary Rose Mission. For a list of these items, please visit City of Erlanger's Facebook page, or for questions, you can contact Ms. Lloyd at 727-1555, extension 45. And we'd like to remind everybody that the 10th annual Yellen Helen Strikeout Cancer Bowl-a-thon is on March 25th, 2017. If you want more information, I know it's on Facebook, and Mr. Whitman would probably be more than happy to give you any information that you would like to have. Yellen Helen.
Great time, great time.
Yes, if you can bowl.
No, you don't even have to have bowl.
It's not being made fun of, maybe I should clarify.
What was the date on the drop-off again?
March 6th through the 16th. So
Okay.
it started yesterday, and it goes
Okay.
through to the 16th.
Great,
Front
thank you.
office Lloyd.
All right.
Yep.
And I'm going to list the upcoming events. We have the scholarship applications are due at 4 p.m. It's $1,500. The city will provide financial support for one graduating senior in the form of one $1,500 scholarship to attend an accredited 2- to 4-year college or technical school. The award is based on the ability to succeed in college or technical school. Applications are available at the city building or through the school guidance counselors. We have Laser Craze Night on the 12th of March for Erlanger residents only. ID is required. It's from 8 to 10. It's indoors, and it's free and limited to only the first 120 Erlanger residents. And there's a download waiver for Laser Craze at www.lasercraze.com.